basically like V-Shred now. He's now G-Shred, if you will. Congratulations, Greg Doucette. You are now on V-Shred's level.
Hi, 911? Yeah, I'd like to report a homicide. What's up, guys? Enkiri here, and I saw an interesting video yesterday by Geoffrey Verity Schofield, and I'm going to link that video below in the description because I think that every single one of you guys should go watch it, and go watch it right now. But basically, Geoff bought Coach Greg Doucette's ebook a little while ago. I'm not quite sure when, but he bought it so he could review it, right? And apparently, Greg never sent him his ebook, which is hilarious because I think it costs like $200 or something like that. But so Geoff bought Greg's ebook, right? And that landed him on Greg's email list. And holy shit. So apparently Greg sent out an email recently, a couple days ago. I saw it on Instagram, and then Geoff put his video up yesterday. And here, I'm just gonna flash the email on the screen for you guys real quick. So apparently Coach Greg has trained an expert team to write his custom training and diet plans for him. And woof, for the low price of $1,000, you can have not Greg Doucette write a Greg Doucette training plan for you. And come on, man, it doesn't even really make sense. His entire brand is literally Greg Doucette. So when I buy a custom Greg Doucette plan, I want it to be written by Greg Doucette at the very least. Or maybe you should change your brand to Harder Than Last Time Coaching Associates or something like that, if your ego will allow for it, that is. Because, you know, at least when Jeff Cavalier's production crew fucks up, it kind of makes sense.
And whereas I interpret that as a possible mistake by Jeff or a member of his production crew,
because it's in regards to Athlean X, the brand, and not Jeff Cavalier, the individual. But when your individual name is your brand, you don't really get that cop-out. Just saying. We get it, man. You've got 1 million followers now, and your brand is huge. But if you're outsourcing custom plans, why are they still so expensive? Isn't half the point of outsourcing something to save on costs? So why are those cost reductions not being passed on to the consumer? Why is a Coach Greg plan that's not written by Coach Greg still 5 to 10 times the cost of a plan written by any other professional coach? It's kind of crazy, to be honest. Nowhere else in the industry do you see anything like this. No matter how renowned the coach or the group of coaches are, the costs are always still within reason. Greg's, on the other hand, are just kind of astronomical. They're out of this world. And that, in and of itself, should tell you something. And I'm not going to rehash that entire video here today because Jeff basically eviscerates Greg throughout his entire video. So again, I do encourage you to go watch that video if you haven't already seen it. It's linked below in the description. But I wanted to do my part here today to kind of give this thing some more exposure because it feels very pertinent, especially to me right now, given the fact that I was just lambasting Mike O'Hearn last week for endorsing the stupid frog a couple years ago, which is essentially a $1,500 glorified ab wheel. And Doucette is selling outsourced training plans for $1,000 bucks. Outsourced training and diet plans. Honestly, that might even be a bigger cash grab than the frog, if that's even possible. At least with the frog, you get something tangible. You get an ab wheel, and it's made of plastic, and that plastic is worth something. I'll say it's worth about 10 bucks, but at least that's something, right? You can touch it, you can feel it, you can do ab rollouts with it, so it's something. Greg, on the other hand, is selling you words on a piece of paper written by an anonymous individual for $1,000. Let that sink in because it is kind of insane. And words, when they're pieced together correctly, can obviously have value, as when they're organized into an intelligent training or diet plan, you're essentially purchasing intellectual property, right? It is years of accrued knowledge and experience, presumably accrued knowledge and experience, being condensed into an easily digestible and usable format so that someone else can benefit from that information and that knowledge and that experience for themselves. But this, what Greg is doing here, is second-hand information now. You aren't getting Greg Doucette's knowledge and experience condensed into an easily digestible and usable format. You are getting John Doe's interpretation of Greg Doucette's knowledge and experience. And anyone who has played the game of telephone as a kid can tell you that when you are interpreting a message, quite a lot of it inevitably ends up lost in translation. But if you're that busy and you have that much business coming to you, which I'm sure you do, then either jack up the price of the custom plans that you actually write yourself so that the demand drops down to a manageable level and you're still providing first-hand information. Or if you just want to be a little bit more altruistic than that for whatever reason, then keep the prices the same as they are now, but just don't overbook yourself. Cap the number of monthly purchases at whatever you can actually handle. Nobody can tell you what that number is. Only you can tell people what that number is. But, you know, at some point, everyone is booked solid. There are only so many hours in a day. Or an alternative to both those options, just release another $200 cookbook or training manual and stop selling custom plans altogether. Far more people are going to buy those anyway because they're substantially cheaper. So I bet that in the long run, it would actually level out, and it would do so without killing your fucking credibility, dude. And I think that your audience would understand if you sat down and you told them that you can no longer offer custom plans because the demand is simply too high and you don't want to tell anybody no. And they would be happy to support you in these other endeavors anyway. I am sure of it. And so it just makes this such an obvious cash grab that it's honestly kind of nauseating. And also because, as Geoff mentions multiple times in his video, the whole thing is obviously all just straight up marketing bullshit. Personally, I have always hated over the top and aggressive marketing. I find it annoying, contrived, cringy as hell, and patronizing. Frankly, that's really the only reason that I dislike Kinobody, to be honest, because of his cringy fucking ad campaigns. But realistically, Kinobody actually gives much better training advice than Greg Doucette, and he's not trying to steal your arm and your leg in the process of getting you to buy his shit. It's actually kind of reasonably priced. And along with that, that's also half the reason that I dislike Athlean X so much. Over the top marketing to sell crappy products and, in his case, crappy information as well. And it's annoying as shit. And since Geoff's training advice is also so terrible, that's really the other half of the reason why I dislike him so much. But honestly, I wouldn't care as much about his shitty advice if he didn't market it so hard and so aggressively. Same deal with Greg here now. He's in the exact same boat as Athlean X and, as Geoff noted, V-Shred, or in his case now, G-Shred. And this whole email campaign just reeks of obvious bullshit anyway. You were hand-selected because we think you would be interested in this product? Lol, fucking what? You do realize that you're sending that email to a professional trainer whom you straight up shafted when he purchased one of your products. He purchased a $200 product and you never even gave it to him. And you think that now he might be interested in buying a $1,000 training plan written by John fucking Doe? No. Obviously, you don't realize that because all you did was spam this shit to every single poor sap that somehow ended up on your mailing list. Greg loves to call everyone who disagrees with him a mosquito, right? I'm a mosquito, buzz, 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 for legitimately criticizing some of the advice that he's given out on his YouTube channel, to which he never had a proper rebuttal. He just word vomits on a comment on my channel. Geoff is a mosquito now for calling out some of his past cash grabs, and now for this one, this new cash grab, which is honestly the most egregious of all. But calling people mosquitoes, using this kind of terminology, all it really does is show your true colors. He thinks that he is better than other people because now he has a bigger following on YouTube. And the rest of us, all of us, me and Geoff and everyone else, we're all just lowly little mosquitoes buzzing around in his ear. But at some point, Greg, your fan base is going to realize that you're projecting. At some point, as you suck the cash out of their wallets,
he's built up a following and he's trying to suck them dry.
They will realize that the mosquito is you. Now go watch Geoff's video.